Recently, when we think of sushi, we probably imagine nigiri topped with fresh fish or sushi rolls. But sushi was not originally a raw fish dish. Its origins lie in a method of preserving fish through fermentation. Furthermore, the word sushi itself is believed to derive from the old Japanese adjective sushi, meaning sour. In other words, the term originally likely referred to fish that had developed acidity through fermentation. At its beginning, sushi was not considered a delicacy. What mattered was not luxury or taste, but the technique of preservation and fermentation. So how did this preserved food evolve into a globally recognized fine cuisine? Origins: a fermented preservation method from Southeast Asia. There are various theories, but the prevailing view is that sushi originated from a fermented fish preservation method in Southeast Asia. River fish were packed with salt and rice, and through lactic acid fermentation over several months, sometimes more than a year, spoilage was prevented. This method was introduced to Japan and became established as Narezushi. A well-known surviving example today is Funazushi from Shiga Prefecture. It remains one of the few traditional fermented sushi types still produced, characterized by strong acidity and a distinctive aroma. However, even this is a modern continuation. Early Narezushi likely functioned even more strongly as a preservation method rather than a cuisine. In the Heian period, text Konjaku Monogatari Shu, there are passages describing sushi. A woman selling sushi became drunk and vomited into her sushi barrel, then hastily stirred it to hide the incident. Ayu, sweet fish sushi, was eaten as a side dish with rice soaked in hot water. These references suggest that Heian period sushi was likely heavily fermented Narezushi, with the fish being the primary edible portion rather than the rice. The rice mainly functioned as a fermentation medium and was not necessarily consumed as a staple. In this era, sushi was valued less for flavor and more for its role as a preservation technology. Japan's transformation from fermentation to culinary craft. During the medieval Muromachi period, as Japanese society urbanized, there was increasing demand for immediacy rather than long-term storage. Methods using sake, sake lees, and koji were developed to accelerate fermentation, gradually moving sushi toward quicker preparation. Around the 1600s, the use of vinegar became more common. This marked a major turning point in sushi history. Instead of waiting months or years for fermentation, rice could be directly seasoned with vinegar to recreate acidity. This is called hayazushi. This innovation dramatically shortened preparation time and aligned with the growing demand for speed in urban life. With the birth of hayazushi, quick sushi, sushi shifted from preserved food to prepared cuisine. It was also during this period that rice began to be consumed as a central component. Sushi transitioned from a fermentation-based food to a dish centered on taste and enjoyment. The Edo-period, nigiri sushi as urban culture. The prototype of modern nigiri sushi emerged in early 19th century Edo, Tokyo. As Edo's population rapidly grew to over 1 million, street food culture flourished. Nigiri sushi, designed to be eaten by hand, was born in this context. At the time, nigiri was roughly twice the size it is today, more comparable to a hamburger in its convenience. The term edomai refers to fish caught in Edo Bay, present-day Tokyo Bay. Common toppings included kohada, gizzard shad, anago, sea eel, marinated tuna, shrimp. Many were prepared with preservation or seasoning techniques such as marinating or curing. Rolled sushi also spread during this period, and most of the major forms of sushi that continue today had emerged by then. Nigiri sushi was not high cuisine. It was a rational, urban fast food. Modernization and global expansion. With the development of refrigeration and transportation in the Meiji period, sushi evolved significantly in terms of hygiene and ingredient variety. Ingredients that had once been marinated, cured, or cooked increasingly began to be served raw. After World War II, food regulations and public health policies led to a decline in street stalls, and sushi shifted towards storefront establishments. As a result, sushi temporarily became more strongly associated with fine dining. In 1958, however, conveyor belt sushi was born in Osaka. This marked a major turning point in the repopularization of sushi. Conveyor belt sushi reduced costs through efficiency and lower labor requirements, making sushi affordable to the general public once again. The conveyor system redesigned sushi from a craft-driven luxury into a rational, mass-market food product. As a result, sushi returned to everyday urban life as an accessible part of modern food culture. From the 1970s onward, sushi spread to the United States and beyond. The conveyor belt sushi system gained international popularity for its efficiency and entertainment appeal. Because of initial resistance to raw fish overseas, innovations such as the California roll, using avocado and imitation crab, emerged. This represents a clear example of Japanese cuisine being reconstructed abroad. Today, sushi is served as fine dining in major global cities, while also being sold in supermarkets and airports as everyday food. Contemporary sushi. Modern sushi exists at two extremes. On one end are high-end establishments offering courses costing hundreds of dollars. On the other are conveyor belt chains and convenience store sushi available for just a few dollars. Between these extremes lies a wide gradient. Despite differences in price and experience, both are part of the same historical continuum. Considering that sushi began as fermented preservation food and evolved through urban street culture, its diversification is a natural outcome of its history. Conclusion: sushi as an evolving tradition. The mainstream history of sushi can be summarized as preservation technology to vinegar-based simplification, to Edo fast food to global cuisine. Sushi is not a fixed tradition. It has continually adapted to technological change, urban development, and international exchange. The sushi you eat today is simply one form within a 1,000-year process of evolution.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Deep Focus Japan for more videos on Japanese society and current issues.